Project back at it again in here for the video for you guys for today. And today's video, basically part 1. That's right, you heard me right, part 1 of a 2-night event with Wrestlemania. Didn't think that would basically happen, but kind of New Japan style, since New Japan Pro Wrestling has done that before as well. So with this one, of course, I was supposed to have a WrestleMania party, but of course, what's been going on with the world with COVID-19 really screwing up plans and everything. Yes, I am still here and gonna get right down into it and talk about what happened for WrestleMania. Alright, so I got the tablet with me as always, and gonna get right down into it basically, and with a lot of things having to deal not with just wrestling but with sports and everything else that's been going on with the world, and with COVID-19 really messing up plans for a lot of reasons. It's just been a whole big mess, and now we're dealing with social distancing, so that's why I'm doing this alone. And I was looking to have Brother Chris and be able to deal with the WrestleMania party for this weekend, and then WrestleMania ended up being in question if it's going to still be in Tampa or not. Obviously didn't happen, and they ended up being in the Performance Center, so we're lucky to at least have that, and we kind of still have Full Sail as well. So we ended up not having TakeOver, and having the TakeOver matches either be on TV for NXT or at WrestleMania, with one of them ended up looking to be with the Women's Championship match that's looking to be for night 2. So just a whole big mess with everything from wrestling to sports and all that. So hopefully you guys are staying safe and everything and doing the social distancing thing. I know it feels forever, feels weird just going out grocery shopping and everything, and I know hangout spot that I like to go to with one of the parks are closed now, so it's just one big mess. Really weird, not too sure when things are going to get back to normal, but you know, the only thing that is around entertainment wise, I guess you can say, it's music now basically. Of course, people watching movies and stuff like that. There's no really other sports. We just got wrestling right now. We at least got that for now. We'll see where that goes, but again, we were able to have WrestleMania. That's what I'm here for part 1 of WrestleMania, kind of like New Japan style, since they do that with Wrestle Kingdom. So never have I ever would have thought having WrestleMania be on 2 nights split up. So we weren't able to have the Battle Royals, since they can't really have, you know, certain match types and stuff like that, which is understandable and everything. So anyway, the kickoff match where we had Drew Gulak and as well Cesaro on this one, and basically Drew Gulak with a change of attitude as of late, since facing Daniel Bryan and everything at an Elimination Chamber, and then they kind of like have more of a bond after a while. Drew Gulak kind of being like the sensei now of Daniel Bryan, which is a little weird, but it is what it is. And of course, Cesaro is still being with Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. So in the end, we had Cesaro actually getting the win, so can't really go wrong when it comes to all of that and everything else in between. And getting into with the next match, the main match that started off with WrestleMania with the Women's Tag Team Championships, and this one basically had to be where Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and this one, and obviously the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane on this one. And for the good majority of the time, we've been mainly seeing Asuka and actually Kairi Sane able to make it for this match, which was good. So I'm happy she was able to at least make it. I was wondering what was going on. I know she basically recently got married to Kairi Sane, so that's cool. So at least she was able to make it for this match, and I actually enjoyed it for what it was too. And surprised that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were able to get the Women's Tag Team Championships. Again, first time in a while, so hopefully the Women's Tag Team Championships will have a lot more going for them now. They should be defended more. That's just me on that. Then we get into the next match where we had Elias and as well Baron Corbin, and these two basically end up being at each other's sides and everything. Baron Corbin, you know, throwing Elias off, you know, that podium too that they have at the Performance Center that we're seeing with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano being the holy hell out of each other. So that was basically used there, and basically WWE being taped and everything, having these edits have been pretty interesting. I will say that so far. And actually, I was really surprised that Baron Corbin didn't win and Elias was able to get a win by roll-up, which is a little weird. There's been this kind of weird endings throughout WrestleMania. We'll see that. So, I mean, I'm not too mad at it. I mean, it would have been better if Baron Corbin won, but Elias winning, it is what it is. So, who knows where things will go from there. And then we get into the Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler, ever since coming up from NXT, wanting to get a shot at Becky, and then, just taking a huge chunk out of her, which is really crazy. We've seen that, when she was able to get called up and stuff like that, and really start the feud, and then go through the Elimination Chamber and all that, and then get to where we are, and actually, which is pretty interesting that Becky Lynch actually got the win and retained the Raw Women's Championship. So I'm thinking this feud is far from over, and we'll see a lot more to come. Who knows what will be happening for Money in the Bank at this time. I'm not really too sure if that might be even in the Performance Center, but that remains to be seen. So Becky Lynch getting the win there overall as a whole. And then we get into the Intercontinental Championship match. Again, one of my favorite matches besides the opener. We had Sami Zayn in this one, which is pretty crazy, actually, looking to be at WrestleMania for the first time in a while, especially looking to retain the Intercontinental Championship, which he did against Daniel Bryan. So that was really cool. Back and forth stuff. Could have went really either or. So Sami Zayn was able to get the win. Not really mad at it either. Would have been cool if Daniel Bryan won it, but didn't really need the win. So Sami Zayn basically getting his moment there. And then getting into the Tag Team Championship match, and what was supposed to be an actual Tag Team Championship match, but then I've been hearing that Miz got sick and stuff like that, so they had to again change things up, made it a triple threat match, and basically still for the Tag Team Championships, where we had basically John Morrison in there for the support of the Miz and everything, and we only have one Uso in there, Kofi Kingston. And this one was really cool, seeing all the crazy spots, especially with the ladders, which was dope and crazy. And the crazy thing is too with the finish, John Morrison won, but with a tug of war kind of, with the tag team titles and everything. John Morrison ended up winning. The tag team titles ended up falling on him, so by some miracle he won. It was pretty interesting how that happened. A little weird, but I'm not really too mad at it. So we'll see what happens with that for the tag team titles and everything. And then we get into Kevin Owens and, of course, Seth Rollins. One of the matches I was looking forward to as well. This one was, definitely well worth it, especially that moment too when they had Kevin Owens jump from the WrestleMania side. At first, Kevin Owens won it via disqualification by Seth Rollins, trying to look for an easy win. Kevin Owens wanted the rematch, and then things continued from there. And then, of course, we had that crazy, insane spot with the WrestleMania side, and Kevin Owens still winning, actually. Believe it or not, that was actually really dope there, so can't go really wrong with that. And it was a little weird not seeing Authors of Pain come out, or Buddy Murphy. I was kind of expecting and hoping that they would come out, but they didn't, and it's fine. It still stayed a one-on-one match, which is still cool, so, can't go wrong with that. And then, what was supposed to be Roman Reigns and as well Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Again, another match change and everything. Basically going back to where the Miz getting sick, and then Roman Reigns, being really cautious about his health, as well as a lot of people too as well lately, so can't really blame him on that. So then we had the replacement, Braun Strowman and Goldberg in this one, and this one really surprised me, and I actually, enjoyed it for what it was and everything. I didn't think I was actually going to enjoy it or not, but these two basically hitting the finishers and stuff like that, and it wasn't really too long. It was basically to the point and everything, so I wasn't too sure on who I wanted to win really exactly, because it wasn't really a match that I was expecting, and it was still pretty much out of nowhere. But Braun Strowman actually won, and at least we got to see the SmackDown Universal Championship on SmackDown right now, and we could see Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, unless Goldberg wants his rematch, and see the rematch between Goldberg and Braun. So it sets up some things, and hopefully, like I said, the SmackDown Universal Championship will actually stay on SmackDown, since, you know, I think it's a lot better having the championship actually stay there instead of just, you know, someone having it, kind of like a Brock Lesnar thing, not really seeing it as much, but it is what it is there. And then of course the main event, which was really just out of control between Undertaker and AJ Styles and the Boneyard match. Didn't know what to expect, but basically, if you want to put it this way, it's like a final deletion match mixed in with a buried alive match. That's the vibe I got out of it. We saw the Jews in this one. That was really cool. We seen the rest of the OC trying to help AJ and everything. Undertaker basically going full blown badass, which was insanely awesome and dope. That was really cool. So really it could have went either way, but I was definitely going for the Undertaker on this one, and he won, which was cool. And then we were actually in a graveyard, so I wasn't sure on how they were gonna do this or not, but it kind of like was watching like a scary movie or something like that, and seeing them in the graveyard, and you had, you know, that whole, you know, buried alive feel to it, which added a lot more as well. So really amazing. I don't know what to expect for Sunday for part 2 of WrestleMania. Still weird to really say that, and there is no fans in attendance. So I was watching just like how you guys were watching at home and everything. So I will say it was very solid for a show with no fans. And it was still weird, you know, having to be finally WrestleMania and everything, and not too sure if it was going to get canceled or not, or if it was going to be pushed to another date. So it was really hard to really see what was going to happen, but finally happened. We reached land with these rough seas, basically, pun intended. So again, that was part 1. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give me your thoughts on what happened with WrestleMania on part 1 and everything. What are your thoughts on it as a whole and everything else that has been going on? Hopefully you guys are staying safe as always, and we'll see what happens with part 2. Until then, I will catch you guys in the next video, whenever the hell that next video may be. Till then, see you guys then. See ya and peace.
Okay, forget it, I got it. Tryna go down. Okay, forget it, I got it. Okay, forget it, I got it. You kids ain't really about it. I stay posh, I'm tryna go diamond. Okay, forget it, I got it. Okay, forget it, I got it. These boys ain't really about it. I stay side tryna overaccomplish. Okay, forget it, I got it. Don't worry, I got it for real. Don't worry, I'm honest as hell. Don't worry, I keep it a bill. Honestly, Phil, you finna go fail. So when you say my name, you better go chill. Never know when, you never know where, but chances are I run it in there. Something's weird, you shit in my tracks for a couple of years. Now you love it when you suckers appear. Think I got a motherfucking idea? Oh yeah, and I got another one here. Ain't for effort, but can never compare. I just got this devilish stare to what my reflection said in the mirror. But after this, but the all